Because Mirantes is not just a solution for a simple problem. We have what we call a tree of problems. We first started with the wrong problem because we thought that was the central problem. Yeah. Well, Carlos, what were the chances of a person like me out of nowhere being able to show that I'm one of the best developers in the world? What are the chances of that happening? And this guy, he wrote something. I'm paraphrasing. He wrote something. You know, in Angola, it will never, never, ever be possible to build a unicorn. Yeah, this was on LinkedIn. And I have that screenshot. I can search in my phone and I'll find that screenshot. I'll, I'll share it with you. Yeah, and he was like, it will never, no one will ever be able to build a unicorn in Angola. And I said, oh, that's a good challenge. That's that's nice.
Welcome, everyone. Nice to have you here for another podcast of Africa Tech Talks. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Carlos Daniel. He is the CEO of Mirantes Technologies. Mirantes, one of the most promising Angolan startups right now. They have very interesting software on the HR space, a SaaS solution. But I will pass it to Carlos Daniel. Carlos, welcome. Thank you so much to be here with us today and share your journey, share your experience. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Mirantes.
Well, hello everyone. It's good to be
Hello.
here. Thank you for your invitation. Who am I? Carlos Daniel is my name. I'm a trained mechanical engineer. I've graduated from college back in 2018 in India. We have two different names, and the fastest to pronounce is JNTU, which means Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, is one of the best universities in India. I've been fortunate enough to be one of those people that is really committed with the studies throughout my academic career. I was able to be always on top of my class, top of the class from first grade to up to the last year of university, graduating first class with distinction. And I think that also plays a big role in what I'm doing right now. And even though today I'm not working in the mechanical engineering sector, I'm fully dedicated with complex matters that are only possible because I have learned throughout those years. So I am a young entrepreneur, young Angolan entrepreneur. Right now, we have a group of companies that I have founded with some of my friends, my closest friends. It's been almost 5 years now. And we call the group of companies a statement group. So what we do basically, we are focusing on three major verticals, which is consulting for process management and business consulting. We focus on training, corporate training for companies, and we focus on technology development. So Mirantes is actually one of our latest ventures. It is related to HR management, and it comes from our acknowledgement of certain problems that used to happen or still happen in this sector. So what is Mirantes? Mirantes is a SaaS, software as a service platform that allows professionals to manage their careers, and in the meantime, companies are able to manage their human resources. So you have, for the first time, a platform where people can trust to collect their data from their employer, and throughout their career they can, even though they are changing jobs from one job to the next, they don't necessarily lose all of the data during these switches. So what we do is we create a platform that has two different sections. We have a section for professionals and we have a section for companies. So with Mirantes, unlike other softwares, you're not just there to look for a job and then get hired and stop using the software unless it is a social media. In Mirantes, you get to look for a job, you apply for the job, you get selected, you get hired from the platform, you manage your relationship with your employer in the platform, and you get to make sure that all of the data that is being exchanged is always kept every time you do this type of transactions. So this is all due to the fact that the majority of people working in Mirantes right now come from similar backgrounds of technology or technology development. And as I said in the beginning, although I'm a mechanical engineer, by heart I'm farther from that. So it allowed us to create this robust solution that we are offering to the Angolan market right now.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for your answer and sharing your beginnings and the beginning of your journey and what really inspired you to start Mirantes. I'll pass the mic now to my colleague Andre, which I think he wants to know a little bit more about the platform itself. Andre.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carlos. Since you're a SaaS solution, what specific problem do you address? You told us about making information available for everyone, but what was the beginning? What was the first problem that you faced that caused everything to unravel like this?
That is actually a great question, because Mirantes is not just a solution for a simple problem. We have what we call a tree of problems, where we have like this structure where we have the central problem, which is data specifically. We have the problem of data availability, but then we have these small problems that are actually only possible because of the main problem. They actually form the main problem. For example, you cannot resolve the problem of data if you have no people using digital, right? So digital tools for HR management and career management are also a problem we're trying to address. In the meantime, employment is also a problem we're trying to address. And then you have efficiency problems in terms of HR, recruiting, or payroll, and all these other problems that they are compounding and creating this central problem. So we first started with the wrong problem, because we thought that was the central problem. Yeah, we first started our solution with the wrong problem, solving the wrong problem, which was enterprise resource management solution tools. So we wanted to create a solution that was simple to use in our market, in the Angolan market, to be more specific, because we found out that companies were very let me say they were very resistant or reluctant to hiring for softwares, or getting softwares that would allow them to manage people in a more effective way. Not because they didn't have the money, but because there were so many obstructions, so much friction to get such type of solutions, like costs and quality and learning curve, that they just found out, okay, we will just prioritize softwares for payroll, and that's it. I don't think our people needs a software for managing their data, or for performance review or something like this. So let's just find a software for payroll, and that's it. But what they really meant was the softwares available, the ones that actually make sense, are quite expensive. And the ones that offer the solutions we want, they are fragmented, which means that I need a software for performance development. I need a software for payroll. I need a software for documentation management. So I would have to rely on a lot of solutions, cheap solutions. If I wanted the product to be cheap, if I wanted the management to be cheap, so I would have to rely on all of those solutions. So we decided, okay, let's have a new approach to this problem. Let's create a software that integrates all of these modules. And because we are building from scratch, let's try to iterate the experience. Let's try to make sure that they become more efficient. Let's make sure that recruitment becomes human again. And so we started developing this. And then we saw that, oh, this is indeed a problem, but there are a lot of solutions that actually solve this problem. So what are we doing wrong here? So we started to actually analyze, and we were starting to grasp more and more of the reality of the market, and we saw that the problem we were solving, even though it was a problem, it wasn't the main problem. So we created this tree of problems. We did this mapping, and then we found that the central problem was connecting people who are the source of data to companies who are also the other source of data. So these data must be exchanged in order for you to solve other problems, because only absorbing this data, you can learn exactly what is causing those small problems in the first place. So there was no solution addressing that. So we decided, okay, let's solve the data problem, the exchange of data, the history, the backlog problem. So we decided to create this interface where people would be able to share their information with the companies. It's not a social network, not like the likes of LinkedIn. No, we don't work like that, because we believe in privacy. So we decided, okay, we're going to have this part where people are going to be able to interact with their companies. They're going to be able to share their most important information with their company with this minimum friction as possible. And on the other hand, while we solve that first wrong problem, we are also going to connect companies to people and make sure that they don't have to pay for the individual accounts of all the professionals working for them. We don't think this should be a responsibility of companies like in other softwares where companies have to pay the license for each and every employee. Even when those licenses are cheap, like when they are like $50 a month per employee, if you multiply that to 100 or 1,000 employees, you get to see how human resources alone becomes a real burden for the majority of companies. So we decided, okay, let's address this main problem. And while we do so, we're going to start, we're going to take the opportunity to address these smaller problems. So yeah, this is the center of what we're trying to build.
So you started with the problem. You found out that the problem wasn't exactly what really was the pain of most of the clients, and
Exactly.
then you changed your strategy. You adjusted.
Exactly.
You stackpiled a lot of other applications or a lot of other modules. Let's say it like this. You stackpiled them, because one thing that I wonder is there's a lot of solutions in the market already. Most of the softwares that do the accountancy, they have a solution for payroll. but then they don't have the other things. So you entered into that space, and you created an interface between not only the companies inside of them, but also with the people outside, so that you can improve the recruitment experience, probably.
Yes, not only a recruitment experience, but every other aspect of human resources management itself, like hiring, firing, selecting people, paying people, evaluating people. So these are all encompassed in the solution we're trying to build.
Taking this into account, how do you see the application and the company evolving in the future?
Well, I believe that one of the biggest differentiators Mirantes has is the fact that besides having this engine for companies and professionals inside, we also have something that most companies, not most, if not all companies in our sectors don't have. We have a database of people that is being shared real time throughout all of the companies using the platform. It's like if you go to LinkedIn right now and you try to hire a person, you're going to have to launch a job post. But if you go to Mirantes, you actually don't need it. People don't even need to know that you're hiring, but you're still going to find in 5 minutes, you're going to find the person you're looking for, the professional you're looking for. And that alone is, it's a solution for probably one of the hardest pains in the 21st century, the technological century, where you need to hire fast and people are quitting even faster. So it's like if you have no way to hire a person, regardless of how technical the role is, in just a few hours, that might be the difference between earning or losing millions of dollars for a company that is in the technology sector. So and it is spreading around in other sectors as well right now, and we believe that alone is able to give us enormous advantage in the market, not only the Angolan market, but the African market and the global market itself.
Mm-hmm. And you have also the trust, because the information from people is going to come from the company themselves. So it's the trusted source. So you're bridging the gap between that, which is very, very interesting.
Exactly. You don't need to trust me. You just have to trust your company. You're working for them already, aren't you?
You are in fact, you're the trusting partner. You're the person that guarantees that.
I am the trusting infrastructure, not the trusting partner. I would be I would be the blockchain of the process. It's like I just give a bit of credibility, but unlike the blockchain where you don't have to know who you're dealing with from the other side, here you have to. So the relationship is still between professional and company, not professional and Mirantes or company and Mirantes. So we are just the infrastructure upon which you make your transaction. You do your deals.
Thank you very much. I'm going to pass the microphone to Victor. I believe he has some challenging questions.
You've mentioned, Carlos, that you have been through this entrepreneurial experience for almost 5 years now, which is already gives you a good background, a good track record of do's and don'ts, of lessons learned, and so on. So, what could you share to potential entrepreneurs, or the biggest challenges that you have had in this period of 5 years?
To correct one thing, even though I said 5 years, 5 years is actually the official legal time I have been an entrepreneur, because my entrepreneurial journey backs like over 10, 15 years ago, because I started very early. Like I was 10 years old. The first time I remember doing business, I was 10 years old. I used to be that little boy who takes the photocopy of the material, the study material, at school, and because I was the person always being elected to take the charge of the class, so I would monopolize the material, go to a cheaper place, take photocopies, and then wait until the last moment to sell to my to my colleagues. And because the teacher is coming, so there's no other option, you have to buy from Carlos. I was this guy. So
Yeah.
and my business were evolving. Like, I dropped that, and then I started reselling stuffs. At the time, OLX was a big presence in the Angolan market, so I used to sell a lot. Like, I would go to markets, informal markets, buy stuffs, uh, um, um, post it online, and then resell it for a higher price. And I mean, so I have been through a lot of businesses, but for the last 5 years, I have been into a more corporate structure, more organized, where you have a lot of responsibilities, and you're not just doing this for yourself. Well, and I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned for the last 5 years, and I keep that as a personal motto, is that we are really worried about people copying us. As an entrepreneur, it's like when we bring a brilliant idea, we get dragged with this feeling of we cannot share because someone is going to copy us, and because the idea is so brilliant, you have to keep it for yourself until it's too late. And what happens is, actually, yeah, it gets late, but it doesn't get late for people, it gets late for you. Because if you're not sharing, people are not validating, and if people are not validating, you're probably working on something that might prove to be wrong. So that for me is still the biggest lesson I learned. Every time I have a new idea, I validate first. I run, and I don't care if people are trying to copy, because execution at the end of the day is still king. It's really, 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 really king. And although I could probably speak about all of the problems, the environmental, the context, the contextual problems we have in the Angolan market, developing a solution, a software solution. You have thousands of different problems, from payments. Like, all your service providers will be somewhere else but Angola. You're going to need a visa, you're going to need a solution for digital payments, you're going to need to build an infrastructure, you're going to need a team of skilled people to build the solution. And that alone can break a person. You need a lot of resilience. I remember I was the person doing the coding in the beginning, and I still had to do like other stuffs, administrative stuffs, talking to clients, talking to service providers. And at the end of the day, I would still have to get time to code, because I didn't find a person that could code for me. So you eventually, that's why you're an entrepreneur. Eventually you find the solution for each and every problem, even though problems never end, they just get better. It's like you just get better problems, you get more structured problems, but they never end. And for me, I could be talking about all of these infrastructural problems, but the majority of entrepreneurs in Angola know what I'm talking about. So I would say that the two things that I learned the most was the fact that, first of all, what I just mentioned, right? That idea matters, but it's not that important as people think. At the end of the day, it's not the product, it's the person, it's the team, it's the execution. Mm-hmm. And the second lesson would be speed. You know, as an entrepreneur, you cannot see time the same way people see it. It's like 24 hours. 24 hours is 72 hours in entrepreneurial time. You know, you gotta move. I mean, every time I find an entrepreneur and they tell me, "Oh, sorry, on Saturday and Sunday we are closed," I'm like, "Really? In Angola you're closed Saturday and Sunday? You know that is 48 hours, right?" And yeah, So speed is gonna be more determinant if you're gonna be successful or not than money itself. Of course, we need liquidity, but if you're not fast enough, no money will save you in this market. No money. You gotta be able to. If you're gonna commit mistakes, commit it fast. If you're gonna solve problems, solve them fast. If you're gonna raise money, raise it fast. You cannot do anything slowly, not even normal in the normal speed. So these two lessons for me are golden. It's like don't. It doesn't matter the idea. It doesn't matter that much. The way we want to believe it matters. And secondly, run. Always be running. So yeah, these are
And
biggest
and the
lessons.
people. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because you could have pursued a career in a, let's say, big corporate firm, given your background and the quality of your studies. But even though you preferred the hard way to do the hardest way
No, in my
by
defense,
yourself.
in my defense, I tried, Victor. I tried. I started in the oil and gas sector, but I could. The first company I worked for, I lasted for 6 months, and then I changed to the next, and then I lasted for 7 months again. Uh, Unfortunately, I have this spirit that doesn't allow me to stay in a place where I just have to obey orders, even when I don't know what they are for, what they are meant for. I mean, I need structure. I need to understand. I need purpose. I mean, even though I have been an entrepreneur for a long time, I'm not really in it for the money. Money is just a consequence of what we do. But at the end of the day, even if you have a full pocket, you still need targets. You still need motivation. You need passion. And that thing
Purpose.
we used to yeah, purpose, exactly. And even today, this is one of the things that I teach the most to people who work for me. I tell them, we are not in this for the money. Money will come definitely. If we do a great job, money will serve us. But what we're trying to do here, we're trying to build something that every time you walk on the street and you see someone happy, you say, oh, I was part of that happiness, even though that person doesn't know. So it's like that's how we work. And I tried the corporate, but I gave up. And don't ask me about my parents. That was a disaster. Telling them that I was that I was leaving the oil and gas sector to go
Can imagine.
somewhere where I had no direction in their eyes. Oh,
Yeah,
believe me,
the
that was tough.
traditional path.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
traditional.
in our reality, we know that we don't have that excess of qualified resources, especially developers. Uh, how do you deal with, or have you been dealing with this attraction of the right talents to your technological startup, and also how do you retain them? That sense of purpose, of course, but yeah, how do you deal with that as the CEO, the mentor,
Yeah.
the inspiring leader?
Well, at the beginning, it was tough. I must tell you, it was really tough to hire people, qualified people. But then I found out that I was approaching the problem in the wrong perspective as well, because I was looking for qualified people, but I didn't have money to pay them.
Okay.
It was like I'm looking for something that I cannot pay for. So I decided, okay, let me change the approach. Let me find people who are really interested. They are really, 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 really interested in learning this. They already gave the first steps. I won't find them like completely zero. They are on a scale of 0 to 10, they're already at 4. But they need the tools. They need to prove themselves. They are actually really passionate about coding, but they don't even have a laptop. They have to go to Mediateca. They have to rely on, I mean, very scarce resources. So I decided to look for these people. And what I found out when we started doing this, not only people got to be really good at what they do, but they also never gave up. I mean, and I say that literally. Right now, we have, we are 43, and in 4 years, in the development team, we only lost 2 members, and we only lost them because they went abroad to study. So I don't even have the experience of having a developer coming to me and telling me, okay, boss, I'm quitting. Because it's like you give them the resource and you tell them, go be a tiger. Come on, people are doubting you. You said you like it. Go take this. Take the laptop. Take the subscription. What software do you want to master? You want to master this one? Okay, I'll pay for it. And I pay for the software. Okay, you need to learn Java. Okay, you need to learn Java. Where do you want to learn Java? I want to learn Java from Udemy. Okay, let me pay for it, and I pay for you for Java. And then in 1 week, because they are also really fast, and in 1 week they come and they say, oh, Carlos, we have been doing this really wrong. I think we should adjust to this and this and this and this and this. And then you get a platform that is so robust that when we go through due diligence, people are like, how do you implement this? I mean, you guys are developing in microservices. Why don't you use a monolithic? It's easier. And I just look at them and say, we don't like easy stuffs. Yeah. So besides the purpose, and the purpose is actually responsible for 50% of why people stay in the company, I believe. There is also this sense of opportunity. People just need an opportunity. It's like if people understand that you're actually valuing them and giving them the tools and allowing them to commit their mistake and experiment, they're not really working. They don't feel that like they are working. It's like, okay, it's a lab. It's more of a lab, and I like this lab, and I get paid to experiment stuff. So that is the philosophy we use.
Yeah, and eventually this sense of design thinking internally, because you are developing something from scratch, from your own, not
Yeah.
copying here and there. So this probably also makes them more engaged with the solution
Yeah.
and
You know,
retaining their.
there was this time, and I still remember this like vividly. There was this time we were working late hours, and I stopped my team, and we were like having a chat. And I asked one of them, "Why do you do this? Why are you here?" And the answer he gave me, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" He told me. Well, Carlos, what were the chances of a person like me out of nowhere being able to show that I'm one of the best developers in the world? What are the chances of that happening? If I feel like this is the right opportunity, I have to do so. And I'm going to use it even if I have to sacrifice everything in my life for it. And it's like, for me, what I liked about his comment was the fact that it wasn't even about the company he was doing so. He wasn't even talking about the company. He wasn't even talking about me. He wasn't doing that for me or for the company. He was doing that for himself. It was like it was his courage to prove his value to the world, not to Angola, to the world. And I think people have this common sense here. People understand that they are not working for me, they are not working for the company. That's why we don't even use these like value statements, mission, vision, and value. We don't have that in this company because people know exactly what they're doing here. And those who don't know, the ones that are entering the company right now, they absorb from the people who is already inside. And for me, that is magic.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Well, it seems that with the new startup law that is in the process of being approved, we have more and more of tech-based startups in Angola. We hope so.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to them? You already shared some ideas here, but yeah, in a previous talk, we have made a similar question to our guest, and he said, "Don't do that." So, what is your advice to
Well,
them?
entrepreneurship is a trap. That I can say. Entrepreneurship is a trap. You enter because of the passion, because of the possibilities of what you can accomplish, but then you stay because of the responsibility you just got for yourself. It's like
Right.
you enter because, oh, I'm gonna make so much money. Oh, this is a brilliant idea, and that even doesn't take that much time. I mean, in 1 year time, I'm done. I'm gonna sell, cash out and big, and I'm gonna be a billionaire, and everything is gonna work according to plan. And so let me just invite those friends. I'm gonna get this guy for 1 year and the other one for 1 year, and then all of a sudden you're 5 years into it. Half of the problem, half of the project is not even done, and the people rely on you to pay salaries, to pay for their kids' fees, monthly fees, to put food on the table, and you're like, I'm the only one who cannot give up. So I
Yeah,
need to wait. I need to wait until the last one of them gives up for me to give up. So entrepreneurship is a trap. If you like the idea of receiving more responsibilities than what you have today, then entrepreneurship is good for you. It's gonna be a good fit. Even though I don't believe everyone is prepared for that. No one is prepared for entrepreneurship. I don't believe there's a single person in the world that could say, "Oh, I'm ready. I'm always ready." No, entrepreneurship is made of hard times. 95% of the time, it's gonna be unpleasing time, and only those 5% will be like the ones that you're going to be remembering for good stuffs, for good things that happened. So you got to be careful, definitely. Entrepreneurship is a proof not only to your professional capacity but also to your personal development capacity, because when you work for someone, you grow according to what you aspire slowly. But when you grow with entrepreneurship, you grow according to how fast is growing the company. I think the worst thing that can happen to an entrepreneur is if the company's growth surpasses his personal growth, because the company is going to implode, sorry. And it's like you have to learn, you have to adapt, you have to grow faster than your company, because today you might have a 10 people company and you're going to have to manage 10 people, but in the next 3 months it might jump to 50 people, and if you're not ready for 50 people, then money is not going to be your biggest concern. So yeah, these are lessons that I think people entering entrepreneurship, especially tech in Angola, should be aware about.
yeah, because companies can escalate very fast. Yeah,
Very
this
fast,
is a very
very fast.
important point.
It's
Yeah,
like you're one
very much.
contract away from escalating really fast.
Okay,
Yeah,
I shall be ready for that.
yeah, you
Thank
should
you.
be. You will
Yeah.
not be ready. Actually, you will not be ready. You have to be ready to be ready.
Yeah, great, great. Thank you, Carlos. I will hand over now to Evo.
So let's focus a little bit more about now. So you shared some challenges and advice, some advice, real valuable advice that you can give to other entrepreneurs, especially the ones who are starting now. I found your entrepreneurship is a trap. I recorded that to I imprinted that in my brain, and it's true. It's true because if you really are passionate about it at the beginning, because you get into it, because you get a perception, a distorted vision of what really is, right? It's a more romantic view of things, but once you get sucked up into it, it also has that. But most of the time, it's challenging, and you feel the responsibility in your back. I completely agree with your affirmation. But let's discuss growth and funding. Growth and funding. So I have three main questions for you in this area. So most recently, Mirantes, you secured a funding. I don't know if it is seed, pre-seed, Series A. I'll let you explain to the audience. And how much was it? And how do you plan to fuel your expansion with this? So what can we expect from you guys in terms of what's the really next phase? Also, another interesting thing in this side, what were the metrics that your investors look into when they decide to invest in a company like yours? What kind of metrics, KPIs, or whatever they say? Whoa, okay, the user growth is this. Oh, this is interesting. The revenue is how much? Okay, this is interesting. This is ticking all the boxes. So I would like you to share a little bit more about that. And also, a question is if you are focusing on a specific industry right now for your software, okay, or vertical, so to speak. I don't know if you're going after the oil and gas, the telcos, or any other sector, or it's a broad solution. Because for new markets, in terms of expansion for new markets, I will let that area to André, which he has some questions about it, your expansion as a company to different geographies. So growth and funding, your first, the most recent funding you had.
Well, yes, we have been able to secure funding. A reminder to people in tech business in Angola that this is actually going to be one of the hardest, if not the likely almost impossible task as an entrepreneur to secure funding, because technology companies, although they have this big potential to give money, I mean, on the long term, on the short term, they spend a lot. And research and development shouldn't be underestimated. So we were able to raise, the last funding was seed. We were able to raise $1 million for Mirantes Technologies. That valued us with a post-money valuation of around 3.5 million dollars. It was actually 1 million euro, and the valuation was 3.3 million euro. That makes around $3.5 million in post-money valuation. And we are now entering Series A. We are looking around $8 to $10 million capital raise. So yeah, it was really tough. Believe me, we were like days away from just closing doors, because it was really tough. It was really, 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 if not the toughest moment been into by now. Yeah, we were able to raise that. And the way we plan on using it is because Mirantes is a very robust technology. A lot of the capital is still dedicated into developing the platform. We have a very big vision of what Mirantes can be. And we are building a very complex, in terms of engineering, a very complex structure, because we have to deal with the data security issues. We have to deal with the big data analysis. We have to deal with the things that are expensive in terms of. So technology development is still one of our biggest concerns when it comes to investing. And then we have also this idea that a solution like ours, an ecosystem like ours, should be offered for free in the beginning, so that people can see how valuable it is. Because we are bringing a business that is too much disruptive for what people are used to. the sensation is different. There are new questions arising. So people need to understand the solution before they feel comfortable to pay. When we first launched the platform, we wanted to charge people already, but that was the biggest inhibitor of new users, because they didn't know what was a career management software integrated with an HR platform. So it was like, oh, why would I pay for something that I don't even know how valuable it is for me? So we decided, okay, let's go free for this beta version. So we launched the beta version for product market fit, and people started to, I mean, they started entering like crazy. They started subscribing like crazy, and we didn't even spend money on marketing at that time. I mean, we only started campaigning just a few weeks ago, and we were able to acquire almost 20,000 users organically. That was by far the most relevant metric our investor looked when he was analyzing the potential of the platform, because it was like he knows the Angolan market and he knows how difficult it is to build a digital product in this market. And if you can get that much amount of users in just this time with this technology organically, without having to promote to be that extensive in terms of marketing expenditure, well, that is a technology with future, with potential. And because Angola is very hard to do so, they believed that once Mirantes started selling to other countries that are easier, that have early adopters more than Angola, that would be an instant success. So they decided to invest. I will say that there were a lot of red flags as well. As a company, we are not perfect, and I must tell you that. As a company, we are not perfect. We are doing that for the first time as well. And I'm always honest about it. I'm not ashamed of saying that we are trying to build the best product we can, but we are probably not at the level yet. We have not become the people who will be responsible for a $1 billion company yet. We are also still scaling as professionals. And fortunately, that is also one benefit that the investor brings. They're not only bringing money to the table, they bring advice, they bring vision, they share experience, they tell you how to protect yourself, and you become this more robust structure. So we have been able to work on those parameters as well. And right now, I believe we are way better. Fortunately, we have a reliable technology. We have a reliable database of users, and we have companies that are actually relevant to their sectors, and they are hiring from the Mirantes itself. So this was the biggest metric for our investors. And one more was the fact that 45 out of 45,000 people that had access to Mirantes, 20,000 of them remained, and they transformed to users. They were converted to users. That gives us a conversion rate of 43.8%. That is really huge. Out of 10 people, 4 of them became Mirantes users in the last month. So the investor was like, okay, it sticks. So yeah, let's give it a try. And as they say, the first million is the most difficult. And today we have we have investors on the table extending their offers, and we for the first time have choices. So so it's a new sensation.
Yeah.
It's a new sensation, but it's good because it shows that you have done a pretty good job. And the last question you asked was related to what was it? Sorry, can you repeat
It
again?
was more about so in terms of industry. So
Yeah.
you an HR SaaS solution
Yeah.
tackling a particular set of problems that organizations face, in even professionals that are looking for jobs and want to keep their data in transition and have their their employment history, and but are you focusing or targeting a specific industry, so to speak, or what are you guys doing in terms of markets, target market? I'm not talking about geography. I'm talking about
Yes.
more verticals.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, we are not going. We don't have a strategy for sectors based because of a very simple concept. We are not trying to offer a solution for a specific sector because we don't want to specialize the tool. The tool is to solve problems that every single company and professional have. So we are not necessarily focusing on giving something exclusive to the oil and gas sector or to the education sector. For example, when it comes to companies in the recruitment part, we have this problem where if you launch a job post in Angola, in the first 24 hours, you are probably gonna be hit with 100 different emails, and that is as a recruiter, it is really a headache to go through 10 emails. Imagine 100, 200, sometimes 1,000 emails for one job post. So that was a big concern, not for the oil and gas, not for education, but for all. So we decided, okay, how can we implement, what type of technology, what type of incentive can we create to allow the recruiter to be able to go through 10,000 profiles without disregarding one because of being tired or something like this. So Mirantes comes to solve this type of problems, address this type of problems. The structure of problems we are dealing with are not related to a sector specifically. So we are launching a solution for every single type of company. Besides, we are more into segments in terms of when it comes to companies, we are looking for small to medium-sized companies. Yeah, these are our aim because these are the companies that have no solution at all for capital management. And they actually, in Africa, they represent 90% of all companies in Africa. There is an estimate that there are over 50 million companies, SMEs companies in Africa. And these companies are responsible for 90% of all the employment in the continent. And they use no form of software for human resources. The majority of them. The available options are quite expensive and quite disintegrated, as I said in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So we are bringing a solution that is cost-effective, very simple, very small, very easy to use. With Mirantes, you don't even need to go through training. It's like you open the platform and you must be really, 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 really ignorant to not be able to use the platform. We make like big buttons for you. We remove all of the noise from the technology. You know, if you go, I always tell my clients, if you get a person who has no experience with the payroll and you give them Mirantes, they'll be able to process your payroll in just 5 minutes. It's like they don't even need to know what is INSS or IRT or taxes. They don't even need to know the definition of taxes. They'll be able to process payroll in Mirantes. This is the type of problems we are solving. And we are bringing this solution to small and medium-sized companies because these are the ones that needs the most. These professionals are not protected. They are unprotected. Their data is being transferred. The data is being created but not stored. And these people are actually moving their lives with no track record.
Completely, yeah. So you're gonna make, you guys are making the experience of using like almost an ERP software solution, this time for human resources management, as easy as it can get to manage, right? Just like you have, I don't know, many people who had training using a social network, for instance, Facebook, or people just use it. It's intuitive.
They just use it. Exactly. That's me.
I get the impression that's your goal too. So make it as easy as possible for so it's everyone can use it quite easily.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So Andrea, get back to you.
I was telling that, in fact, I'm very interested in knowing about the expansion to Dubai. Why expanding to Dubai? What motivated that decision?
Well, even though our focus is still the African market, but we believe entrepreneurship is about timing. You know, most part of the time, taking the wrong, taking the right step in the wrong timing might kill you, and vice versa. So for us, Dubai is a strategic place specifically now, because first of all, it has a lot of similarities to Africa. I mean, not Dubai, but the MENA region, Middle East region, and they have a lot of similarities to Africa when it comes to the use of digital products within companies and professionals. Right now, you have Dubai as the center, the hub for businesses all around the world. Businesses are going to Dubai, are moving to Dubai. People are moving to Dubai to work, and also, you have two other countries who are trying to become hotspots, which are Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And we actually have been to Qatar a couple months ago. And what I have realized is how how few companies in our sector are present in Qatar. You almost have a monopoly in Qatar, and this monopoly is being conducted in Excel sheets. You know, the people are being hired, and these companies are relying on Excel to keep track of all of these employees coming from Kenya, coming from Uganda, coming from South Africa, because Qatar has very few poor citizens. So 99% of all the workforce present in Qatar are expats, people coming from other countries. And we want to be the door for that. We want to be the bridge that will be giving this solution. So Dubai works perfectly for our strategy, because it allows us to serve the entire world in the English language, but also the MENA region, where we are starting to see these business hubs being created. So
Yes,
we have opened our office in Dubai, our first office out of Angola. We have opened it in Dubai, and we think that it's the perfect expansion the first step of expansion. And we believe that Dubai is going to serve as research and development, as a study case for the next territories we're going to be opening.
Yeah, regarding laws and regarding a new market or a new type of market, I'm sure that you're going to face some challenges. What are you
Exactly.
foreseeing? What are you foreseeing in that area?
Well, we now have a globalized world that is quite aware of data privacy problems, and I wouldn't expect less. The European Union, for example, has just approved the new data privacy
Act.
laws, or act, due to the fact that now we have this AI war, and it, I mean, we have an elephant war where the elephants are AI companies, and then we have the people who are the what do you call that? Grama? How do you say that?
The grass. We
Yeah,
are the grass.
the grass, exactly. So it's like people are being,
Thrown away.
the data. So the government decided, okay, let's make sure that these companies are responsible for what they're doing, and that has created an awareness all over the world. Governments are more worried about what might happen when things go wrong for companies that deal with a lot of data from people. And we expect a certain amount of resistance when it comes to entering certain markets in terms of data protection, and we are already addressing this type of issues already. I mean, for example, in Angola alone, we are fully legalized. We are fully certified to
Level 3.
gather data and to exchange. I think that was your second question, right?
No, it's part. I was saying that it's level 3 because there's 3 levels of data privacy, and probably you need to have level 3 licensing.
Exactly. So we are fully certified, and that is not a problem for us. And we intend to keep on doing this job of compliance. We have an entire department dedicated to compliance and data privacy. We have people with over 14 years of experience in the sector, not only in terms of data privacy, but in law itself. So we are trying to be very responsible with what we do and how we do things.
Great. Ivo, I think you have to talk about the future.
Yeah, let's we're coming to an end. I'm telling you, we could be here for a more couple of hours. I say this for other guests too, and I'm always really serious about that. And I mean, your story, Mirantes, it's a very, very, very interesting market you guys are playing in. And as for the vision and the future plans, you already shared with us some of the questions I had for you at this phase. I think you already answered. For instance, you already told us that after these 1 million funding, you are looking for an additional 8 or 10,000. You're going for Series A, right? 8 or 10,000 valuation, or 8 or 10,000 funding. Correct me. Funding. Okay.
Yes.
So this one you already gave us the answer. You already told us that besides Dubai, you're looking for the MENA region, right? So Middle East and North Africa. Sorry.
Yes.
So those would be your next markets and consolidate there. Okay.
Yeah.
But as for the long-term vision for the company, where you see Mirantes in the next 5 to 8 years?
I'm a very ambitious guy, and I don't have problem admitting that. I remember, when we first started developing Mirantes, it was with the purpose of selling Mirantes as a license, not as a software as a service. So yeah, we were like, okay, we're gonna sell that license, and then we're gonna update and then charge again for another license, and we're gonna have this version.
So the traditional on-prem software, you charge initial license, and then you charge a subscription. No, not a subscription.
Not subscription. The license
fee, support and maintenance fee, right?
Exactly. So we had this vision, but then I was scrolling on LinkedIn, and I found this post of a guy. His name was, I think, Valdemar something. It was back in, it was like 1.5 years ago, I think so. And this guy, he wrote something. I'm paraphrasing. He wrote something. In Angola, it will never, ever be possible to build a unicorn.
This was on LinkedIn, okay?
Yeah, this was on LinkedIn. And I have that screenshot. I can search in my phone and I'll find that screenshot.
Share it with us.
I'll share it with you. Yeah, and he was like, it will never, no one will ever be able to build a unicorn in Angola. And I said, that's a good challenge. That's
challenge
nice.
Accepted.
Challenge accepted. So all of a sudden, I decided to change the entire structure, and we built a software as a service because they have more capabilities of becoming a unicorn. And now we are aiming for unicorn status not as a primary objective, because we want to deliver value first, but for us that would be a statement itself. And I want to be able to I don't even do that for myself. I do that in the name of those people that actually have that in their hearts, that they believe they are capable of doing so, but they have no example of people doing such thing. So I believe that one of the biggest advantages Americans have against us is because they have a lot of examples. You know,
True.
it's like you're not fighting alone. There's always someone who's done it, who's been opening the fences for you. And I believe that that alone gives purpose, because motivation is something that we can only give to ourselves if someone indirectly is providing to us. We are getting inspired. We are, we are absorbing from someone. And we have this problem. We still have this problem where people cannot dream big because we are in Angola, because we are in Africa, and or because they were born poor, which is quite normal here. You know, this is this is just another Tuesday. Being poor in Angola is just another Tuesday, so it's not an excuse anymore. You know, in the room full of poor people, being poor is not special. So it's like it cannot be used as an excuse. We're laughing, but that is true. That is actually something I believe. And so I decided, okay, let me be the first poor guy to do so. So I decided, okay, and I found other poor people as well along the way, and we joined forces. I think we have this energy to do something, and now we are aspiring for that, and the things are being great. And besides that, for me, Mirantes represents a new way of, a new generation of companies. I want to build a generation of companies that are more humane, that are companies that people wake up every single day and say, I want to work there. You know, because that is a lovable place to work for, and I feel the purpose in that. I believe it's too early for me to put my vision to the world regarding to that, but that is something that we are building inside. The backbone of Mirantes is built upon that philosophy, and I want to be able to show people that have become better professionals because of the company they have worked for, in a way that it wasn't the responsibility of the company more than the responsibility of themselves because of the environment the company created. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Perfect sense.
that is the vision I'd like to add. And I think my final point related to my vision to the future is that I believe that the Googles and the Facebooks of Africa will definitely be very different from those companies. I mean, the solution for us is not adapting. The solution for us is not, what do we call? We say we take a solution from America and we contextualize. No, I don't think the solution for us is contextualizing. I think the solution for us is starting from zero, but using what we already know to build better, the way the Chinese did. You know, it's like they didn't build like look at Huawei. Huawei is younger than Apple, or younger than Microsoft, or younger than other American companies building the same products. But Huawei is now one of the best technology companies in the world, and they are competing like, you know, at this level. And that is because a company found a way not to contextualize what they were building, the solutions they were trying to build, but they found a way to start from zero, analyzing their markets, see the potential of the market, and building something that would not that would adapt to that market, but would be actually perfect for that market. And we are so worried about bringing those ideas from the Western world and applying to African context, and then we find other problems. For example, the drive-through or the shared car applications, for example, they are good solutions, very good solutions, very profitable anywhere you go. But every time they come to Africa, they get to find infrastructural problems. They get to find all these problems that they have never faced in the Western world. So I think it's time for us to stop that. It's time for us to have a new perspective. It's time for us to look at the market and say, what is the solution for this market that is going to fit perfectly? And once I get them to America, I'm going to find problems contextualizing in America. So I'm going to go to America and I'm going to say, oh, I've never had to deal with this type of problems. So yeah, this is what I believe are going to be the best African companies in the future. So I'm trying to create one that does the same.
Listen, Carlos, I love your energy. I love your optimism, but I also love your pragmatism. So you have your feet on the ground. You know that not everything is perfect. You have a lot of work in front of you, but you're still very optimistic about the future. You have a very special thing with Mirantes there, and you guys are doing an amazing work. And we are very pleased to and honored to have you here and share your story. Let me thank you on behalf of the rest of our team, of Andre, of Victor. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch soon, and hopefully we'll be on the pod again once you raise the next 8 or 10 million.
I just want to say something.
Just promise us that you come here again and tell us what happened in between.
Definitely.
I just want to say something. In 2 years, Carlos, in 2 years we are booked. We need to talk again because I believe that we're going to meet a different animal.
Oh, really? Oh, that is a blessing. I'm definitely going to be there. We're going to meet again. We're definitely going to meet.
Thank you.
Carlos, thank you so much. Well, as a closing remark, where can our viewers and listeners find you, more information about you and Mirantes?
Well, I'm quite active on LinkedIn right now. I'm not a social media guy because I mean, although I look like a person who is extrovert, I'm actually kind of I'm actually kind of half introvert. So I just started using social media a few months ago, and right now I'm active on LinkedIn. If people want to contact me, LinkedIn will be the fastest channel. And yeah, definitely, if you want to use Mirantes, you can just search for www.mirantes.io. I also have an Instagram account and a Twitter account with my names on it. So it's actually easy to find me online.
We'll share it on the video. Don't worry. Carlos, thank you so much once again. And thank you for everyone for staying and listening to us. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, great pleasure. Thank you.